So we at the Raven Foundation and at Be Here for Peace talk a lot about nonviolence. And whenever we talk about nonviolence, inevitably the Hitler question gets brought up. What about Hitler? The assumption is that Hitler and Nazi Germany were inherently evil people seeking to conquer the world through violence. And so nonviolence never would have worked. It's a question that's worth exploring. It's important. And so let's explore that question now. There are three problems with the question. First, the Treaty of Versailles. Going back after World War I, we sowed the seeds for World War II. And how did we do that? We crippled Germany financially, economically. Here's how we did it. At the signing of Versailles, we blamed Germany for the World War I, and we crippled them economically. Now, how can you blame Germany for World War I? Well, World War I really started in conflicts during the 19th century, conflicts that happened throughout Europe. So is Germany really to blame for World War I? Partly, yes, but so are all of these other nations who are having these conflicts. So, is it fair to blame Germany solely for World War I? Not really. And what ended up happening is that the German people felt scapegoated by everyone else. And so they had this anger, this frustration. They were crippled financially. The German people thought that, yes, Germany should be blamed, the government, but not them. And so Germany was ripe for someone like Hitler to come along and direct all of their frustrations towards an outlet, their own scapegoating, which ended up being horrifically the Jewish people. It never should have happened. But in order for us to make it so that it never happens again, we have to look ourselves square in the face and say, we had something to do with this. It's all interconnected. We laid the foundation, sowed the seed for someone like Hitler to come along and take power in Germany. The second issue with the question is that we looked at Germany for a long time and turned our head while Hitler was taking power and taking all of these people to the gas chambers. We looked the other direction. So for so long we did this that nonviolence could have worked much easier had we tried it earlier. The third issue with the question is that nonviolence did work when it was tried. Take the Rosenstrasse example. 2,000 Jewish men were taken from their Christian wives and taken to Rosenstrasse prison, where they were soon to be taken to a concentration camp. The Christian wives came over to Rosenstrasse and nonviolently demanded that their husbands be released. Well, Nazi soldiers said, we're going to shoot you down. Well, the woman stood there and just stood there and protested for about a week, and soon their husbands were released. Now, it's interesting because most of those men who were released ended up surviving World War II. And this act of nonviolent protest crippled even Hitler. Even Hitler didn't know how to respond to this nonviolent protest. He was like, I don't know, what do I do? Didn't do anything except for release the men. Another example of where nonviolence worked was when the Catholic Church protested euthanasia. Nazis practiced mercy killings against people that the Nazis thought didn't deserve to be alive. Well, the Catholic Church thought that this was a problem because of the commandment that says, thou shalt not kill. And so the Catholic Church protested these mercy killings. And before they protested, the mercy killings were systematic and then became much less frequent. Even Hitler called off the mercy killings, but did so underground, so they were much less frequent. Now, historian and World War II scholar Nathan Stoltzfus ends up saying in his book that if the world had tried nonviolence the way that the women at Rosenstrasse tried nonviolence, and if the world had tried nonviolence the way that the Catholic Church tried nonviolence against the mercy killings of the Nazis, that we may never have experienced World War II. So the question, would nonviolence have worked against Hitler, becomes very complicated because nonviolence did work the few times that it was tried against Nazi Germany, and nonviolence could have worked even more efficiently had we tried it earlier and not turned our heads away from the atrocities that Hitler was committing. So those are my thoughts on the Hitler question, and I would love to hear what you think. Thanks.